Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new video of Mtg. My name is David, and in today I will be going over a deck that has been requested to make a video for to know the most common plays and know how to play it to some extent. And the deck I'm talking about is Torture Existence. The deck, as its name says, it's based on this card called Torture Existence, and basically you pay 1 black, discard a creature, and return another creature from your graveyard to your hand. And well, this kind of it's somewhat simple. Um, it has more depth gameplay that should be discussed further. So before moving forward, quick reminder that hit the like button and subscribe one if you want to have more in-depth guides on how to play decks. This is Pauper, by the way. So yeah, if you want me to cover any other deck, please do let me know in the comments. All right, let's see. So yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, this deck is mostly based on Torture Existence as its main engine, but it also has some kind of gate theme kind of going on with it, because previously, before the gates were introduced, this deck lacks a bit of reach in terms of what to do when my opponent exiles my graveyard, for example, because you need the graveyard in order to actually activate this card, and a single Relic of Progenitus basically just shuts down your deck. So now with the introduction with gates, every single creature, even if it's a 1/1, like Sakura Tribe Elder, it then becomes a big threat on the board. So I'm gonna explain a bit further on how to actually make the most out of your creatures, but let's go over some of the main cards of the deck. So as I said, this deck relies a lot on the graveyard to go or to actually run their plans. So how do we send things to the graveyard? First we have Satyr Wayfinder. You look when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 4 cards and you put a land among them into your hand and the rest into the graveyard. Similar to that one is Commune with the Gods, except you reveal a creature or an enchantment and put it onto the graveyard, the rest of the cards. So this one gets you a body to the field when you cast it, and this actually lets you look for Torture Existence. So these are different, but while different, both stay in no, sorry. While different, both serve the same purpose, which is sending stuff to the graveyard. Similar to that, it's Eccentric Farmer. And you look at the top 3 cards, you mill them, and you put a land from your graveyard to your hand. What's important on this one is that it doesn't matter if you don't find a land on the first 3 cards. As long as there's 1 land on the graveyard, you can return it to your hand. And it goes well with the Barren Moors or any other card that was incidentally milled due to any of the other effects like Satyr Wayfinder or Commune with the Gods. Then other ways to send things to the graveyard are having this from on the graveyard already, like Dredge. It's an ability that makes you mill the number of cards that it's required for the dredge cost, and you put this card on your hand instead of drawing a card whenever you have to draw a card. There are a couple of scenarios where you use Golgari Bronze Scale along with Sting Beneath. It's all the same, but this has Dredge 5. We only run 4 of these effects because more of them will be you will find yourself in positions where you get a lot of these from your hand, and you don't have a way to actually cycle them if you don't have Tortoise Existence. So yeah, we only run 4 of those, but also these 4 are fine ways to send things to the graveyard by milling yourself. So let's say you hit them with City Wayfinder. Next turn you can draw it and gain 2 life out of it. Then next, Sakura Tribe Elder, cheap creature. It doesn't say it, but once it gets sacrificed, it goes to the graveyard. So command line is going turn 1 Turtle Existence, turn 2 Sakura Tribe Elder, and then on turn 3 you can discard a Golgari Brown Scale, bring back your Elder and put it again into play, and you start making this chain where you keep putting back your Golgari Brown Scales to hand and ramping further into the game. At least that's the main thinking of it. Then we have the rest of the creatures that fill a different role for the deck. Ledgewalker. I wasn't running these at first. I think I was running some Borderline Explorer or whatever instead of them. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Yeah, Borderline Explorer. So very similar stats. Both are 2-drops. Both are green. Difference is that when these enter the battlefield, you can discard a card, and then you and your opponent can put out like a land into your hand. You can. This is better if you have like you don't have Tortex, for example, and you want to discard your Kitchen Imps or your other dredge creatures. And ultimately, I decided to go with Silhala because I want to have, since I'm running gates, I want to have something that doesn't die once I'm targeting. Basically because these are just at sorcery speed, so I can't fire them at instant speed. So it's not like I can attack and then I decide who I'm gonna pump. I need to pump pre-combat. And sometimes if you do that and they just kill your creature, that's your whole turn, because this deck is a lot of mana intensive. So I'm trying this. I think they will work great. So yeah. Moving on, Kitchen Imp. Kitchen Imps are very good in the sense that they basically are an evasion creature with haste. So you can discard 1, and for 2 mana, basically you pay 1 for the Torture Existence trigger and 1 for the Madness cost. And for 2 mana, you have a 2/2 flying haste that you can pump with the Basilisk Gate. So you can steal some wins out of the blue with this one, since your opponent won't expect it. And I think the cheap part, the cheap Madness and the evasion and the haste makes it better than the other one that has Madness, which was, I don't remember how it's called, but it's the other black one, Great Scrabbler. Great Scrabbler, it's okay-ish. Difference is that this doesn't have evasion, this doesn't have haste, but it will let you put 1 more creature from your graveyard to your hand. I was trying this, was really not very impressed with it, so I decided to just not play it around, but I can see at least putting 1 copy on it if you find a room for it. Anyways, then Tilling Tree 4, very similar to Eccentric Farmer. I went 3 copies of these and 1 copies of these. With the end of the battlefield, you return 2 land cards from your graveyard to your hand, and very similar to this, except this doesn't mill. And I think the mill part is what puts me to play more of this than this, but I can see some people liking this better. I think the fact that you have to rely a lot on having this already in the graveyard, it's too much for me to want me to put 1 more copy, but 1 copy is fine. And it goes very well along with these cycle lands in the end. You need to have some removal. For that we run Crypt Rats. 1 cool trick that was pointed out to me by my friend Oliver is that you can do something like pump the rat with your Basilisk Gate, make it like 11/11 or something like that, and then clean the board right after. and this will be the biggest creature around, and you hit basically on a clean board because this will survive, and you can actually activate it, do that play pattern all over again without having this to get killed. So that alone is pretty nice. Mire Grasp, Deadweight. Initially I was not running them, but I feel that sometimes you need removal, especially in these aggro times where Monastery Seafair it's very prevalent, and you need some cheap ways to answer them. And last but not least, Orb of Possession, a new card introduced in Dominaria United. I really like this one because it can return the Torture Existence along with any creatures, but not also, since how it's worded, it does a lot for this deck. It returns a creature, gains you life, and it can return any other permanent. So by any other permanent, it can mean returning another Turtle Existence, another removal, or another land. And I think since we are milling ourselves a lot, this is the kind of card I'm looking to run in the deck. Honorable mentions for previous versions of this deck. Necromancer, I find it good, but not super impressive in the end because by the time you play it, you already have a big board enough. But I can see how these big bodies are good against Affinity to stop them from moving forward to the game. From this list, Fleshbone Marauders, these are great against the protection from monocolor stuff. You just make them sacrifice it. Sport Frog, make shutdowns attacks, and Vessel of Nascency because this is also another tutor for your actual lands and your enchantments. Then another honorable mention I'm not running is Not to the Bomb in the sideboard and Bamboo Groove Archer. We were trying this, but in the end it's a 3/3 body that can stop flyers. Like it could be very good against Core, Skyfisher, or Greenhawks, but in the end they just end up getting killed. And like you put it on turn 2, they just kill it with a Bunny Blast, and you have to work for it. Yeah, that didn't seem great, so I decided to not running. And since we're talking about the sideboard, I moved the Sport Frogs to the sideboard as well. Prevent all combat, sacrifice it. In paper, looks very good against all of the hot dogs kind of strategies. In reality, they just kill it before you can do anything. But against some decks with low removal or non-removal like elves, this can just shut down their strategies. I think it should be fine-ish against some aggro walls, but not the combo walls, because they will kill you right before you start doing stuff. Casted Caterpillar, Masked Bundle, hate against your hate, I guess, because this hates on most of the cards that actually cause you a lot of trouble, like Radula Progenitus, Nihil Spam Bomb. Also, they are very good against Affinity. Fume Speeder against fairies and elves, I guess, but elves are starting to run into these +0/+2 kind of deal. And since the popularity of fairies has decreased, probably these are not worth running anymore. So you should take a note on that. I'm running one more Crib Rats on sideboard, 2 Flashback Marauders. I put them to the sideboard against those decks that usually just put 1 or 2 creatures in the battlefield and you need them. And your other removal can't hit, even Crib Rats, like the protection from monocolor stuff. Some Cyber Hate against Graveyard. Very Macabre does good. It prevents some strategies to go off. Maybe I can see running the third instead of this and just adding it. And last but not least, Truffle Snout. I decided that I want this instead of the Not to the Bone, because these are also bodies and you can record them if they get into and it's easier to get them into the graveyard, you know. And since you're getting hit a lot post board, I think you are kind of less likely to play it. Also, like these new burn strategies put a lot of creatures into play, and you at least want to block and gain life at the same time. So instead of just gaining 4 life and then I don't know, getting hit by 8 next turn again, at least this buys you a little bit more time. And if you don't gain life, at least you put a counter on it, and it's a 3/3 for 3, which is not terrible. And I don't know, I think that's everything I have to say about this deck. It's by no means a tier 1, but it's a fun to play. So if you want to give it a chance, please let me know how it goes for you. I'm curious and see how more improvements can be made to it. And I'll see you back in a few with the actual play session of this one. Again, a reminder to hit the like button and subscribe, and that's all I got. Thanks everyone.